Ooh, with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers coming off their bye week, and yes, it is a different Bucs team now because Jameis Winston is the starting quarterback once more. Ryan Fitzpatrick heads to the bench officially after 3.5 games of mostly excellent work, and Winston takes over and goes up against the Falcons team that entered the season with high hopes, but here they are, Wes, at 1-4, and if they have any chance to stay in the NFC playoff picture, they're going to have to find a way to beat the Bucs.
Yeah, this is one of those fantasy football start everyone matchups.
Everyone in the pool.
The Falcons play shootouts in the dome, and both of these teams have bad defenses. So you're starting Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Sanu, Ridley, Tevin Coleman. It looks like Freeman is not practicing this week, is injured again. And then start all your Bucs too, because this is going to be like lights out.
And you mentioned the Falcons kind of needing this win. They've had a home-heavy schedule early. They're home again next week. They've already lost 2 at home, including 1 in the division to the Saints. I do think you would ultimately stick a fork in them at 1-5 if they lose at home to a Bucs team who's one of the only defenses in the league that's worse than they are. That even though if you look at the Bucs' talent, especially in the front seven, they got a lot of players. So at some point you got to think it's the coaching. They have some decent players in the front seven. They should not be this bad.
You've been too nice to the Falcons. I forked them 2 weeks ago.
It's fair. They lost 2 basically buzzer beater games to the Bengals
can't stop anyone.
And the Saints.
They can't stop anyone. That's not a playoff team.
Do you think it's just a matter of they lost too many key guys?
Yes.
And they don't have the depth to fill in the spots? But how about the idea of when you lose key players the way they did, it's going to take a couple weeks to figure out how your game plan is going to be redirected. The little bit benefit of the doubt, I guess.
Okay, that's fair. But also, you could have done better if you signed maybe the best players available, like Eric Reed. Instead, you let your division rival take him.
I think they could have time to figure it out because I think their coaching staff is good on defense.
Yeah, but
you should be.
You can't
you have to
replace
do
the
it now.
speed with which Deion Jones and Keanu O'Neal played.
And this is a very tough matchup for them. Jameis Winston is getting the start, and I think he's going to be an upgrade from Fitzpatrick. But ultimately, they're very similar players. I was thinking about this. I was writing QB Index, and I'm writing how I think Winston is set up for success for basically the same reasons that Ryan Fitzpatrick was set up for success. He's the rich man's Fitzmagic. They both have a great...
That's generous to Winston.
Well, I mean, just look at what he's done compared to what Fitzpatrick has done over the seasons.
Guys, I'm too sick to go down to
I don't
the
want to do
today.
this. My point is, though, they both see the field. They anticipate. I think they both have a lot of football intelligence, but then they trust their arms a little too much. They get too aggressive. They're extremely streaky, and they kind of are. They're YOLO quarterbacks. I mean, they play every game as if it's their last, and that leads to kind of magical, great streaks and moments, and it leads to them, spectacularly crashing every once in a while. To me, he's like Winston's a more talented Fitzpatrick, and he needs to be better mentally than he was last year.
I like the Falcons in this game because they don't feel like, to me, they're the team that starts 1-5, 1-6, 2-8. I think they're going to figure this thing out and stay in the mix. And I don't like the Bucs at all. And Jameis Winston is a hard guy to root for right now. So this is going to inform my pick as well. But because I like the Falcons, because Matt Ryan has been on my fantasy team for 2 straight years now, and because the Falcons are going to stay in the NFC playoff picture, they're just not going to lose at home to the Bucs. And that's why I'm locking them up. So give me that W. Like Jameis Winston, he's going to eat I'm going to eat the lock.
It's a troublesome pick for you.
Why? You were just saying how bad the Bucs are.
I think the Bucs are the better team right now.
Really? Wow.
We shall see. If the game was in Tampa, Wes, I would not be locking that up. But I think they're going to be okay.
The Bucs defense is the cure to anyone else's offense. You play the Bucs defense, and everyone after they play the Bucs, you're like, wow, maybe the Bears are getting their season together. They're terrible.
I'm not trying to go down to the lab, but Dan, answer this question: If Ryan Fitzpatrick was quarterbacking the Bucs right now, would you lock up the Falcons?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I think this has got like 42-34 written all over it.
Oh, I agree with that.
So I think the Falcons are going to, because they need it so bad, the desperate teams sometimes can step up in a moment. So I think what happens here?
You don't trust Dirk Cotter's, excellent bye-week adjustments? Come on.
Mike Smith going to get fired after this game. That's another lock it up.